The Philippine National Police, or the PNP, says it hit its year-end targets for President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. Police Chief Ronald Dela Rosa says the PNP accounted for over 1.3 million people involved in illegal drugs from July 1 to December 22, 2016. It also includes over 147,000 drug suspects arrested or killed before Duterte or De La Rosa came into office. The police says the figure is 73% of the 1.8 million current drug users, a number given by the Dangerous Drugs Board. The PNP's baseline number is different from the figure Duterte frequently cites in his speeches, which is between 3 and 4 million. De La Rosa says this does not contradict what the president says because the exponential growth that happened between 2010 and 2016 produces an estimate of 3 to 4 million. De La Rosa adds 1.8 million is the base figure, so the police will have, in his words, doable targets. Aside from more than 2,000 drug suspects killed in police operations, the PNP recorded 4,049 victims classified as deaths under investigation or vigilante-style killings of people with suspected links to illegal drugs. The Ombudsman spares former President Gloria Arroyo from plunder and graft charges in the 900 million peso Malampaya fund scam case. Charged are two former Arroyo cabinet members, former Budget Secretary Rolando Andaya, ex-Agrarian Reform Secretary Nasser Pangandaman, along with pork barrel scam mastermind Janet Napoles and 22 others. Arroyo and former Executive Secretary Eduardo Ermita were not named for lack of evidence. After typhoons Ondoy and Pepeng battered the Philippines, Arroyo issued Executive Order 848, allowing the government to tap the Malampaya Fund for rehabilitation work. The Malampaya Fund comes from royalties from the Malampaya Deep Water Gas to Power project. It's supposed to fund energy development programs, but Arroyo and her successor, Benigno Aquino, used the money for non-energy related initiatives. The Department of Agrarian Reform, or DAR, ended up getting 900 million pesos, supposedly to help farmers affected by typhoons. A large part of the allocations for the Agrarian Department under the Arroyo administration were allegedly siphoned by fake non-government organizations run by Napoles. The government's top peace negotiator, Silvestre Bello, visits a New People's Army camp in Davao City during the Communist Party of the Philippines' 48th founding anniversary. Bello calls it a historic first and assures the communist rebels that President Rodrigo Duterte would keep his promise to release political prisoners. Sison says prospects are still bright in the ongoing negotiations. Presidential advisor for peace process Jesus Dureza also says Duterte issued a directive for the release of some 17 or 20 detained rebels. The Philippine government is ready to help the Filipino woman convicted in Kuwait for joining ISIS or the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Department of Foreign Affairs spokesman Charles Jose says the government is still verifying the report. A Kuwaiti court sentenced the Filipino woman to 10 years in jail. The ruling also says she will be deported after serving her term. The woman was arrested in August 2016, 2 months after she arrived to work as a domestic helper. Kuwait's Interior Ministry says the woman reportedly confessed she is an ISIS member and had plotted terrorist attacks in the emirate. She supposedly told interrogators her husband was an ISIS fighter in Libya. NBA game officials belatedly issue a couple of fouls on defending champions Cleveland Cavaliers in their win over the Golden State Warriors. NBA says Cleveland's Richard Jefferson should have been called for a foul after he tripped Warriors' Kevin Durant. NBA also called a technical foul on Cavaliers superstar LeBron James for a monster dunk where he hung on the rim and flexed his arms. That's considered a technical foul. The NBA Finals rematch between the Cavaliers and the Warriors was the most watched NBA Christmas Day game on TV and online. The after-the-fact report has no bearing on the results of the game and was issued for transparency.